Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Oops. There we go. Okay, Bhante.
Okay, let us begin with metta and meditation. And
Now wait a minute.
okay,
Somebody's mic is on.
you turn off your mic and
Okay, I think we got it.
all right. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this very wonderful thought of metta in mind, let us continue our silent meditation. Dukkha pattaca nidukkha, bhaya pattaca nibbhaya, soka pattaca nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta thought in mind, let us focus on the answer to the question that Brian will read for me.
Okay. Before I start with the questions, if you look at the chat box here, you'll get the answer to the question you all asked at the top, which is there's a special meeting for Monday morning. So the link is there. Okay. So feel free to copy that link so that you'll have it for later on. First question on Dhamma Vichaya, Dhamma investigation. Dear Bhante, I look at the state of my mind to check what is the cause of it. When I am feeling sad, happy, angry, etc., to let go of it. Is this the way to investigate? Please advise Bhante with an example if I am wrong.
Okay. When you have greed, hatred, or delusion, at that moment, in the first place, understand that you have greed. That is your awareness or mindfulness. And then see how painful the greed is. That is your investigation. So now I said two things happen: mindfulness and investigation. They happen as soon as you notice the greed. When you do this investigation, you see that the greed has a cause. Surely, what is the cause of greed? Your ignorance. What you are ignorant of is the danger of greed. You are ignorant of that. You are ignorant of the great danger of greed. Temporarily it makes you feel glad. You may perhaps enjoy that greedy, whatever it is, the situation, thought, person, food, sound, taste, and sight, whatever. And then when you see that this is painful, the mind does not stay on the course. It jumps from one greedy object to another greedy object, and that creates a lot of pain and dukkha. Where there is greed, there is dukkha, suffering. You can see this happening within yourself. And without trying to justify greed, this is my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my brother, my sister, and so forth and so on. You may have some objects. These are called mental objects. They may, in your life, they may play very important role. And therefore you think, how can I not have desire or sort of so-called love for them? You call it love. But that is the misnomer. Love is not the greed, clinging, craving for anything. Love is metta, is the selfless, universal, friendly feeling. For that there is no desire, in that there is no desire. So you use various terms to justify your desire, your greed. So when you investigate very mindfully, impartially, you cannot say, this is my son, I must love. This is my daughter, I must love. This is my husband, wife, and so on. Or this food is good for me, and so forth. Whatever object you have in your mind at the time you have a greed, greed doesn't arise by itself. Greed arises with an object. That object is subject to change, impermanent, unsatisfactory. And therefore, when you investigate, you can definitely see this particular desire, no matter what, how you try to justify it, end up in pain and suffering. And you must see that. That is how you have to investigate. Investigate that you are also, because of your ignorance of the suffering you will inflict on yourself due to attachment, clinging, you perpetuate it. Excuse me. So we try to understand how you use investigation impartially without trying to justify your desire. Okay?
Okay, next question. Could Bhante give an example of catching the Dhamma snake by its tail instead of its head?
Very good. That's very good. When you Dhamma must be very clearly understood. If you do not understand it and misunderstand it, that will hurt you and cause you pain and suffering. For example, self or soul, you must see that is a temporarily used term in order just to communicate our ideas with somebody else. When you think of I exist at that moment only. I was not in the past, I will not be in the future. The I notion will exist at the moment you use I in order to communicate. But if you think that I existed in the past, I will exist in future, you are catching the snakes by the tail. If you understand the I is used now only to communicate this moment, after that this so-called I does not exist. Next time when you think, that moment I exist. Another time you think, that moment I exist. Another time you think, that moment I exist. So the selflessness, soullessness is something that we have to understand as the Buddha taught in Alagadupama Sutta, in the Snake Simile Discourse. If we do not understand, we will think that I, quote unquote, I was there. When I listen to the Buddha's teaching, I don't find it. He says it is not there. So you will have sorrow, lamentations, thinking I had there, now I don't have it. How can I bring it back? This is one thing that we have to understand. This, if we don't understand this, and I is something permanent, that would be like holding or catching the snake by its tail. Catching the snake by its head is that I notion is something we all use only for the purpose of communicating our ideas to somebody or with somebody, and after that, that disappears. This is very clearly explained in Pottapada Sutta in Digha Nikaya. Digha Nikaya, Pottapada Sutta, Buddha explained this notion of I exist only at the moment we use it. Beyond that, it doesn't exist. So we have to understand what is past, what is the present, what is the future, and what we use in the present will disappear at that moment. It doesn't go to the future. So that is very beautiful example Buddha has given in Pottapada Sutta to illustrate how we do not, how we catch the snake by its head. Another example. You may think that somebody is thinking about me in such and such a way. You are thinking, but you don't know what the other person thinks. But you think this is how the such and such a person thinks about me. But there is a very meaningful comparison between us and others that is given in Mahasatipatthana Sutta. In that sutta, Buddha says, Iti ajjattang va kāye, ajjattang va vedanasu, ajjattang va chitte, ajjattang va dhammesu, and so forth. The same thing Buddha repeated in that discourse 21 times with the modification according to the place where this passage is used in 4 Satipatthana. And then in that place he said, when he said, one sees oneself, one sees one's own body, and one sees others' body, and one sees body of both, That means when one is one has very clearly understood rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling of one's own body, one's own feelings, one's own mind, one's own mind's object, as they rise and fall, then the person can infer that this is how rising and falling arise in other persons as well. All other living beings also have rising and fall. Their body, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness rise and fall exactly like this happened in me, in this body. So this is how we compare ourselves with others. Because we want to use the universal nature of the truth. This is not something provisional, something happened at one place, or something happened to only one person, something happened in the past and now it doesn't happen, and so forth. This is how it has been happening all along from time immemorial, and all in future to infinity. Rising and falling take place in me, and this rising and falling take place in others, exactly as it happens to me, in me, for me. So this is the universal factor. And if we do not understand this, then we have all kind of misunderstanding about other individuals, their race and their color and their appearance and so forth. And all these are misunderstanding. So, a correct understanding is the way of catching the snake by its head. So if we, that is why many people get into a lot of trouble by not having this understanding, the universal nature of the truth, not understanding the universal nature of truth. And that is how they catch the snake by tail.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
One person asks, how can I turn my walking meditation into Vipassana practice?
I think that was a good question. When you walk, it's a very good subject. You have to focus your mind on your walking exclusively. Then you will see every moment, your body, or I must say your materiality, mentality, and consciousness, three segments work together to make your walk possible. That is, when you lift your foot, you notice the lifting the physical part, body, physical part. Leg is although it is leg, it is made up of 4 elements. It has hardness, liquid, air, and heat. All these are changing as you lift your one foot, as you move, and at the same time you feel, you have contact, and you perceive, and you have a thought of lifting, and you pay attention, plus your consciousness. All these mental factors and material factors and consciousness all change in a split second as you lift your one foot and move it forward. All these change, and when you stop, they still continue to change. When you bring your foot down, they are continue to change, and then we touch the ground with your foot, they change. So what you see in your movement or in your walk is nothing but trillions of changes, millions of changes. When you engage your mind in noticing these changes as they take place, you are walking like in dream, because your mind is fully, totally, completely absorbed in these activities of movement. So what does it mean? You experience impermanence. Impermanence of everything. Walking meditation is the best meditation to understand impermanence very clearly. So we sometimes tell people in a very simple way, when you walk, be mindful of lifting and moving, stopping, and bringing foot down and touching the floor. These are the few activities we ask people to notice. But in addition to that, those things are not very difficult to notice. They are very gross or very superficial way. But the deepest way is the mind and the walking. Breath, mind, walking all work together in a very, very consistent way, in harmony. They cooperate, and for us to make the walk very, very beautiful object of meditation. They all work together. And this part we must remember when we walk. And these activities take place even when we are sitting, lying down. But walking is more conspicuous, more clear, for us to notice all the changes that take place in walking. It is not just, Buddha said, it's a beautiful thing. Gacchantova gacchami pajana. That is, when we walk, we know that we walk. Who doesn't know that? Even cats and dogs and any animal know that when that animal walks, he knows that he is walking. We don't need any special awareness to notice that much. But we need a deeper, very clear, sharp awareness of what is happening in walking. Every part of our body, every part, every cell is in motion, in activity. It is 100% dynamic meditation practice, especially for Vipassana meditators to realize it. And that is how we use walking as walking meditation. Gacchanto or gacchami iti pada. Then we have, this is a major postures. There are minor postures. Minor means lifting and bending, and all these are called postures. In the Sampajanya section in Satipatthana Sutta has explained them. In all this, we see all these changes taking place all the time. That's a very beautiful meditation, very powerful meditation. You know, Venerable Ananda, who was using walking meditation so clearly, so sharply, so skillfully, with diligence, that when he was going to lie down on his bed, it was not a comfortable mattress, water mattress bed and so forth. It is just a plank or board. He was trying to lie down. As he was lie down he was so attentive to all these minutest changes. He lifted one foot and put it on the bed, and before he bent down and put his body on the bed, he attained enlightenment. How it happened? Because he saw the minutest changes taking place every moment in this walking period. And that is how you use walking meditation. Wonderful meditation. And the last question.
You want one more? Let's see.
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Could you please explain Sankara Dukkha?
Sankara Dukkha, yes. Sankara Dukkha is very much like that, as I explained, because of Sankaras do not obey the wish. Any Sankara, no Sankara obeys anybody's wish. So they happen due to causes and conditions in spite of our wish. We may wish in a certain way, but Sankaras work otherwise, the opposite way. And that is how there always is some dissatisfaction. That is what is called Sankara Dukkha. Sabbe Sankara Anicca. They are impermanent. They work depending on causes and conditions, and therefore they do not obey any particular individual's wish. That is why whatever happens against our wish is suffering. Whatever happens against our wish is suffering. So the wish must be to liberate from this desire or wish to perpetuate our temporary mundane pleasure. So that is why it is called it's a real peace. Friend, that question is also very good question that requires much longer explanation, but since the time is very short, I simply wanted to give this very brief answer. Okay. See you tomorrow. And now you have an announcement.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we put up the for those of you who weren't here with us yesterday, we announced that on December 13th we'll be hosting a let's see, it disappeared. We'll be hosting a one-day Zoom retreat, and we've posted the flyer under community news on the Bhavana Society website. And we've also posted it on the closed Facebook group. But for those of you who are with us today, you can look at it. This is the flyer for the December 13th retreat. And so the link for I apologize for the repetitiveness of this announcement for those of you who were with us yesterday, but the link for the retreat on the 13th is the same Zoom link that you use every day for this session. And the password is also the same. The password is metta. So all of that should be very seamless for you. And then the second announcement is that Bhante G will be starting his annual 3-month seclusion period, seclusion retreat on right after the retreat. So the 13th will be the last time that he teaches until he comes out of retreat on March 15th. So again, this flyer that you're looking at now is on the Bhavana Society website and on our Facebook page.
Somebody asked about my birthday.
All right. And yeah, I posted, I'll send this again, but if you want to wish Bhante G a happy birthday on Monday, here, this is a Zoom link. I'm just going to put it now in the chat box. So you can click this Zoom link. It's a different meeting, so you need to copy that that link. And there's no password, so you can just come in and we'll just gather for 45 minutes. And if you like, you can wish Bhante G a happy birthday. Okay.
Okay, friends. We want to wish all those who are suffering from COVID-19 and those who watch any public media can understand how much suffering is going on. This is considered to be the worst epidemic than the Spanish flu. During Spanish flu, there were no this much medical miracles. Ambulance, doctors, nurses, hospital facilities, ICUs, and therefore the death toll was 500 million. Now almost 2 or 3 million with all these facilities. I don't know how many millions, but even if 100% dies these days because of this modern wonderful facilities, in spite of these facilities, if any person dies due to COVID-19 virus, that is very, very bad. It is, I must say, therefore it is worse than the Spanish flu. And we can practice metta for all of them by following, putting metta into practice by following medical health instructions. They are available very often. All the face masks, you go to any shopping mall, anywhere, many hundreds of them are there. We have to wear them, we have to use them, follow their instructions out of compassion, with love, with metta. So I wish many people or everyone follow these instructions and to curb this or reduce this virus until vaccine is available to people. And then there are many frontline helpers like doctors, nurses, hospital staffs, many people who are putting their life at risk to help these people. We see some even doctors, nurses are in tears when they see their patients die. And we want to wish them to be free from any of these virus, to continue their very noble, marvelous service. And they are the embodiment of compassion in terms of helping people. And there are many people who unfortunately lost their loved ones. We see some people so unfortunate, they have lost their loved ones, and now I hope they recover from their grief to continue Dhamma, understand the nature of this, and understand the mistakes they have committed, and determine not to commit that mistake anymore, or others not to make any mistake, and stay alert and practice metta. And there are many leaders who have been helping people. We want to wish them to continue their wonderful service without themselves getting affected by this virus. And there are many generous people who have already supported various organizations to invent the vaccine, and now it is time to approve it and distribute. As soon as that happens, let this will happen. Let this happen very quickly, so that less people will die. With this metta wish, I want to thank you all, my friends, for participating in this little session, encouraging us to continue this, and we wish you all